Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Walls and Ceilings, and thank you so much for joining me for a special episode of If Walls Could Talk. I'm so honored to be joined by Steve Slepcevic, the CEO of Strategic Response Partners. Steve, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Steve, again, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm really excited for this conversation because one of the things that you were mentioning earlier that I think every contractor that's listening needs to hear is if you're in the middle of a major disaster, crisis, storm, whatever it might be, you talked about setting up base camps. What do you mean by a base camp and how do you do that? Even if you're a small company, what do you do? Like, what are the top things that everybody should do to set up a base camp?
So, it's interesting. The contractors that are in a wide area storm, they're always like, oh my God, if a big hurricane came and hit my backyard, oh, I'd be so busy. I wouldn't know what to do. Then they realize that their employees got impacted. Their own building's impacted. Now they're struggling on how to answer the phones, service their clients, yet they put no plan together. So to me, what I found that's been very effective, and for the organizations that we've helped out in those type of scenarios, is they've created where like, hey, you know what, Steve? I want to be able to power my building, right? Make sure it's air conditioned. I want to set up an area where the moms can come in and it's like a little daycare center. I'm going to convert one of the office areas into a daycare center, right? Because she can't be at home because her house is destroyed, right? And I need a place where I could set up an area, bring a fuel cell in so they could fill up their cars, because in that area, the power's out. It could be 2-3 weeks before the power's on and the fuel pumps are actually open and operational because they're not getting that fuel out. And then when they do finally get it on, people are in these long lines to try to get fuel. 2, 3, 4 hours later, they're finally filling up their gas tank. Some people are running out of gas and not being able to drive their vehicle. But if you are the company that on day one has a temporary shower set up, a temporary laundry service set up, and these are mobile trailers, beautiful systems that actually they set up on the lot. The people are able to do their laundry there, are able to take showers there. You have a catering services that's serving your people, feeding them 3 times a day. Your employees are showing up. Your crew's working, and the volume that you're taking on, and I'm going to tell you how important this is. They're working from when their eyes open to when their eyes close. Every major organization in that area, just like us. But I'm making sure that my guys are extremely well fed, that they're sleeping in a comfortable sleeping quarters, that it's I'm taking away everything else that they shouldn't be dealing with, and they're only focused on the task and the work at hand. I'm making sure that in that base camp of where the fuel, the showers, the food, all this stuff is set up, and the sanitation is set up, is clean, it's spotless, and there's private security that is on site, armed, protecting that camp and keeping it extremely secure. People feel safe. They want to bring their kids, they want to bring their family there, and they're willing to work all hours because they don't want to go home where it's dark, air conditioning's not running, the food in the fridge is spoiling, and if they want to go get fuel or food or try to get a good night's sleep, it's 4 hours outside the impact zone.
I love it. So if I'm a contractor and I want to set up that base camp, what do you kind of assign certain things to certain people? Like, okay, Joe, you're going to talk to so-and-so about getting the food in. I mean, if it's a disaster, how are you getting food in?
So we work with several vendors that actually come in, they set up a kitchen, a mobile kitchen, and they cook in that area and they deliver the hot meals. So this isn't like you're waiting in line for Salvation Army or Occasion Navy to feed you some burgers and stuff that's 3 hours old, they're cooking for your crews every day from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they're getting great meals. I'm telling you, you want to take the life out of your work crew and diminish the how people show up and the morale. Just don't feed them well, right? Give them sandwiches. You're gonna see people already stressed, right? And you want to see the wheels come off, just go that route or go the other route, and you'll just notice what a huge difference it means. And what it says, what message you send to your people is that I cared enough about you to plan ahead, So when this stuff comes and it needs to be set up, you can't call me, 2-3 days later when all the wheels are coming off.
Right.
You know what I mean? These are the type of conversations you'll want to have with me ahead of time. I'm happy to send you people that I work with, right? You don't have to go through me. I don't need the extra business. I'm happy to say, hey, call this vendor, call this person, call that person. These are the key people you need in place. Go talk to them and put your thing together. I promise you it'll be the best money they've ever spent, because the volume that they'll be able to sell
Sure.
and turn over and maintain their employees, and their employees after be able to put together, even if they put a reel together. Can you imagine what you tell the rest of the roofing industry? This is how I showed up for my team. Here's what we experienced in our own backyard. We were able to save and help our community tremendously, because like you, we went through the same thing. But unlike you, we prepared a little bit better because we had some foresight or forethought as to how to do it. So yeah, it's very important.
Sure. And all your customers are going to see that as well. Well, Steve, thank you so much for that nugget of information. That's so important for everybody to be prepared. If anybody has any questions, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me is email me, steve@srp24.com. You can also look at our preparedness page, which is srp24.com/prepare. It has some great information, including some of the resources that we've used and we've had success with.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Steve. And if anybody has any questions for us, it's roofingcontractor.com, wconline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content, especially our e-news and our website and our webinars, so you can stay up to date on all the great content we're putting together, especially this one we did today with Steve. And most importantly, stay safe and healthy. And we can't wait to talk to you soon. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.